Hello friends, welcome to our channel. Today I am going to discuss about the mechanism of the enzyme action. How the activity of the enzyme could be carried out. Before going to the mechanism of the action of the enzyme, here we wanted to know the two things. That is A. Substrate, B. Active site. Active sites. What is meant by substrate? Substrate is a substance which binds to the active sites of the enzyme. The substance which binds to the active sites of the enzyme, that substance is nothing but a substrate. Next one, active sites. What is meant by active sites? Active site is a site or a hole or a place in which the attachment of the substrate takes place. It is a site where the attachment of the substrate could take place. That site is nothing but the active sites. Then we move on to the mechanism of the enzyme action. Mechanism. In the mechanism of the enzyme action, the first step is the substrate will come and binds with the active sites of the enzyme. In the first step, the substrate come and binds with the active sites of the enzyme. After binding the substrate to the active sites, it forms a enzyme substrate complex. Enzyme substrate complex are formed. After the completion of so many reactions in the enzyme substrate complex, this enzyme substrate complex can release the products and the free enzyme. The formed free enzyme is again attacked by the substrate and it forms the enzyme substrate complex again. Then the whole process can be take place again. Let us see how the mechanism of the enzyme action. Here enzyme is there. The substrate come and binds with the enzyme. It forms a enzyme substrate complex. Enzyme substrate complex are formed. In that enzyme substrate complex, so many reactions are carried out and then it forms a product plus free enzyme. The formed free enzyme is again attacked by the substrate, then the whole reaction can be carried out. This is called as the mechanism of the enzyme action. Let us see how the active sites are formed in the enzyme. We are all know that all enzymes are proteins, but all proteins are not enzymes. So, the proteins are made up of amino acids. So, the enzymes have the long chain amino acids. Because of the presence of the long chain amino acids in the enzymes, those amino acids folded together to form a active sites. So, the active sites are formed in the enzyme. In that active sites, substrate will come and attack. This is the mechanism of the enzyme action. Next, types of mechanism. Types. In order to explain the mechanism of the enzyme, there are two types. That is, first one, lock and key theory. Second one, induced fit theory. Induced fit theory and lock and key theory. First one, lock and key. What is meant by the lock and key theory mechanism? How it explains? In the name itself it is indicating one lock and one key. Let us assume that how we unlock our lock by using a key in our homes or in our daily life. How? The key is easily fitted into the lock, then we unlock. In the same manner, in a similar way, here the lock is enzyme. and the key is substrate. Lock is enzyme and the key is substrate. The key or the substrate is easily fitted into the lock hole. Lock hole means it is nothing but the active sites of the enzyme. It easily fitted because the active sites are in the shape of the substrate. So it can easily fit it and it forms a enzyme substrate complex. It again forms a product plus free enzyme. In that way, the mechanism can be carried out by lock and key theory. This theory was proposed by the M.L. Fisher. M.L. Fisher is one of the scientists proposed the lock and key theory to explain the mechanism of the enzyme action. Okay. Here the active site is flexible or it is in a fixed shape. It does not change according to the substrate. It is fixed in nature. Okay. Let us see. Let us assume this is a enzyme. Let us assume this is a enzyme and this is the active site. And this is the substrate. This is the substrate. Substrate is nothing but a key according to this theory. Enzyme is nothing but a lock. So the active site are in the shape of the substrate. So the substrate or a key is easily fitted into the lock and it forms a enzyme substrate complex. In that way, the mechanism of the enzyme action can be carried out according to the M.L. Fisher, that is lock and key theory. Here, the active sites are fixed in shape. It does not change according to the substrate. Next one, induced fit theory. Induced fit theory. Induced fit theory was proposed by the Daniel Coghlan. Proposed the induced fit theory. In this theory, the shape of the active sites is not a flexible to one substrate. It can change according to the substrate molecule. Let us assume this is a enzyme. This is the active site. This is substrate molecule. The substrate molecules it is not easily fit into the active sites of this enzyme. Why? Because the shape of the active site is like this and the shape of the substrate is like this. It does not easily fit. So, in order to carry out the mechanism of the enzyme changes its active sites according to the substrate. Let's see how it changes. It changes its active sites according to the enzymes like this. So, this substrate can easily fitted into the active sites. Then the reaction will be carried out. So, in the lock and key theory, the active sites is flexible. It does not change according to the substrate. But in the induced fit theory, the active site changes according to the substrate. Okay. Next one. Enzyme inhibitors. Let us see how the inhibitors can inhibit the action of the enzyme. Enzyme inhibitors are the substances or the inhibitors which binds to the enzyme and decrease the action of the enzyme. By binding the inhibitors to the enzyme, the activity of the enzyme can be decreased. In that way, the activity of the enzyme can be decreased by using inhibitors. Okay, enzyme inhibitors are again divided into two types. That is Reversible inhibition, irreversible inhibition. Reversible and irreversible inhibition. The reversible inhibition is again divided into three types: competitive inhibition, uncompetitive inhibition, and last one, non-competitive inhibition. Let us see what is meant by reversible inhibition. Reversible inhibition. The inhibitors binds to the enzyme reversibly and can decrease the activity of the enzyme. Again, the reversible inhibitors or the inhibitors which binds reversibly to the enzyme by non-covalent interactions. Non-covalent interactions means weak interactions like ionic bonds or hydrogen bonds. If we remove the inhibitors by the process of dialysis, the activity of the enzyme can be retarded again. If we remove those inhibitors by the dialysis process, the activity of the enzyme again we are retarded. Okay, the active enzymes will again form by removing the inhibitors in that reversible inhibition only, but it not in the irreversible. Let us see again. Next one, this reversible inhibition process is a slow process. It is a slow process. Next one, it is very slow process. This reversible inhibition may be the organic or inorganic substances. Those enzyme inhibitors or reversible inhibitors may be the organic or the inorganic substances. Next one, reversible inhibitions are again divided into three types. Let us see what is meant by competitive inhibitor. Competitive inhibitors, in the name itself it is indicating it is a competition between the substrate molecule and the inhibitor. Here the inhibitor binds only to the free enzyme. It does not binds to the enzyme substrate complex. Let us take one normal mechanism of the enzyme action reaction. Enzyme plus a substrate gives the enzyme substrate complex. This enzyme substrate complex will give the products plus free enzyme. This is the general mechanism of the enzyme. Here, according to the competitive inhibition, the inhibitor binds to the enzyme. It is a reversible process, no? So, double equation. When inhibitor binds to the enzyme, it forms a enzyme inhibitor complex. It only binds to the free enzyme, but it does not binds to the enzyme substrate complex. There is a competition between the substrate and inhibitor to attack the enzyme. This is the competitive inhibition. Example for the competitive inhibition is malonate is a competitive inhibitor of the succinate dehydrogenase. Malonate is the reversible competitive inhibitor of the succinate dehydrogenase. Let us see second one. Uncompetitive inhibition. Uncompetitive. In this uncompetitive inhibition, the inhibitor binds to the enzyme substrate complex. It does not binds to the free enzyme. It binds to the free enzyme only in the case of the competitive inhibition. It binds to the enzyme substrate complex. Test the general equation. Enzyme substrate complex, it gives products plus enzyme, free enzyme, that is nothing but it binds with the inhibitor binds with the enzyme substrate complex. It forms a enzyme substrate inhibitor complex. Enzyme substrate inhibitor complex it forms. this is called a uncompetitive inhibitor. It does not bind to the free enzyme. It binds to the enzyme substrate complex and form a enzyme substrate inhibitor. Example for that is ethylene glycol is a non-competitive inhibitor of the drugs to treat the poisoning. Ethylene glycol is a non-competitive inhibitor of the drugs to treat a poisoning in the cases of poisoning. Next one, non-competitive inhibition. Non-competitive inhibition. In the case of non-competitive inhibition, the inhibitor binds equally to the free enzyme and the enzyme substrate complex. It equally binds to the enzyme and enzyme substrate complex. Let us see. Enzyme substrate complex, it gives products plus enzyme. It binds to enzyme and it forms a enzyme inhibitor complex. When it binds a enzyme substrate complex, it gives the enzyme substrate inhibition. This enzyme inhibitor complex will again combined with substrate, it again forms a enzyme substrate inhibition. In that way, the non-competitive inhibition will take place. Non-competitive inhibition means the inhibitor molecule will equally binds with the enzyme molecule and the enzyme substrate complex. It forms a enzyme substrate inhibitor. The example for that is iodoacetate is a non-competitive inhibitor of the enzymes having the SH group or sulfur containing groups. Iodoacetate is a non-competitive inhibitor of the enzymes containing the SH group, that is cysteine, like that. Next one, irreversible inhibition. What is meant by irreversible inhibition? Irreversible inhibition, the substrate or the inhibitor molecule binds to the enzymes irreversibly through the covalent bonds. Covalent bonds. There, in the case of reversible, non-covalent bonds. In the case of irreversible, covalent bonds. That is nothing but a strong interactions. Okay, and decrease the activity of the enzyme. If we remove the inhibitor, that is nothing but irreversible inhibitor by dialysis process, the activity of the enzyme is not again retarded. If we inhibitors also removed, once the irreversible inhibitor will attack the enzymes or will binds to the enzymes, the activity of the enzyme is completely destroyed. It does not regain again. It destroys the activity of the enzyme permanently for in the case of irreversible inhibition. In this process, it takes place very fastly. Okay, let us see how it takes place, the irreversible inhibition. In the irreversible inhibition, the inhibitors or irreversible inhibitors binds with the enzymes and they decrease the activity of the enzymes permanently. Okay, this is nothing but the irreversible inhibition. So, okay, thank you friends for watching my video.